Okay, believe it or not, this started as a minor upgrade to my CPU, and it was going to be simple. I was just going to port it into the custom case that I'm carving out of walnut. But then I was seduced by certain folks online. You know who you are. And it's ended up being a little bit bigger. And by little bit, I mean an entirely new top-of-the-range PC equipped with pretty much all the latest components. Top-of-the-line processor, cutting-edge graphics card, ample high-speed RAM, and lots of zippy-fast NVMe storage. I'm really excited to find out how this impacts performance in the most demanding tasks, be it gaming at the highest settings, complex video editing, or intensive 3D rendering. So in the second video of this series, I'm covering the build of the PC components on a test rig, why I picked them, and whether I can install it all without breaking anything. So, what are you waiting for? Let's begin with the heart of the PC, the motherboard. I've gone with an ASUS ProArt X670E. I know that some folks question the value, but for my usage it actually stacks up pretty well and has some unique features. For the CPU, I went with a 7950. I opted for the X model over the X3D, and I'll tell you why I did that a bit later. For storage, I went big. 4 sticks of 2TB NVMe storage. This isn't just about loads of space, it's also about speed. NVMe drives give me blistering data transfer rates, which means lightning fast boot times. It'll attack those loading screens in games, and it'll really make life quicker when working on large files in software like Photoshop or Blender. These AIO Cooler 530s are great for these tasks. For RAM, I chose 96 gigs of Corsair's Vengeance DDR5. This amount provides more than enough horsepower for multitasking and resource-intensive tasks, which is crucial for my build. But I chose this amount over 128 gigs for a specific reason that I'll cover later. The GPU is the engine of any rig these days, and I've chosen the formidable RTX 490. It's basically a monster and great for not just 4K gaming, but also video rendering, complex 3D tasks, and so much more. It's a perfect fit for this build. And powering all these components is a robust 1200 watt PSU from Thermaltake. This ensures stable and efficient power delivery, even under heavy loads, which this system will certainly be under. And to keep all the heat this system will generate in check, I've got an Arctic all-in-one CPU cooler with triple 140mm fan setup, and some Noctua fans, and more, and more. And that's basically it. So let's get our hands dirty and start assembling it. I'm not going to go through all the features here. 4.3-inch ruler. But there are quite a few more unique features that sold me. The M2 slots are key. I want blazing fast performance, and I think disk speed is one of the limiting factors on PCs these days. I deal with loads of data every day, so this is essential. So this is really cool, because the back of this motherboard is rammed full of useful ports. We have 2 Ethernet ports, got a 10 gig and a 2.5 gig here. And this will be awesome for slamming masses of files back and forth from other PCs on the NASes. We've also got dual USB 4 ports, which are essential, and they also have 40 gig transfer rates. It's like this is designed for me, because I'm lifting large files off SD cards all the time, and this will be a huge time saver. It's also got 7 USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports, a USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 Type-C port. Have I mentioned the USB standards are a mess at the moment? And a legacy USB 2 port. Can you tell I hate running out of fast USB ports? Okay, so I've got a lot to get through, so sit back, relax, and I'll take you through a nice relaxing montage. I'm putting it into a test mount here so that I can get a sense of how everything works and fits together before it finds its home in the wooden case, which I'll cover in a future video. Now for the NVMe storage. AIO Cooler 530s are great options. They're excellent value and give 7,300 megabytes per second transfer speeds. I need a spread as I want to have a dedicated OS drive, one for cache, an image and video drive, and a gaming drive. Time to slot in the RAM. Now, in an ideal world, I'd just have maxed RAM, but usage of all the RAM slots is a bit of a muddle at the moment, so I don't want to start messing with that until motherboard manufacturers properly support it. However, with 48GB DIMMs starting to appear, this is a great option to get oodles of RAM with capacity to upgrade to 192 gigs once it's supported. Next up, the CPU. Now, I don't know how we can just slap these into PCs without first being totally in awe at the feat of engineering. You know, CPUs are flipping awesome. The transistors on these are now sub 10 nanometers, but just to put that in context, a human hair is 100,000 nanometers. The gate inside the transistor that blocks or allows the current is now less than 50 atoms wide. It's just amazing. The 7950 is a beast whatever flavour you get, but as I mentioned earlier, I've opted for the X over the X3D. Whilst the X3D has the edge in gaming, the X tends to win in most productivity tasks. Cool, look at the size of that. Yeah, I'm an all-in-one virgin. I've always had air-cooled before, so I don't really know what I'm doing with this. The CPU is going to get a bit of a pounding from me, so this should help keep the heat down and keep it all happy. I still need to decide whether the fans should function as the air intake or exhaust, but either way, I'll be trapping the dust by applying my tights or pantyhose filters on my 3D printed frames, as I covered in my previous video. I really loved reading the comments from those of you telling me that you've adapted your approach after seeing the airflow test that I did. Thank you so much for letting me know. And I also thought there were some really smart comments that people posted too. So I do intend to do a follow-up at some point. Now, when it comes to thermal paste, I like to, let's say, go all in. The whole blob or X method seems just wrong now CPUs are much bigger. I prefer to generously slather it all over, spread it around and ensure every inch is covered. Everyone has a different approach here, but when it comes to thermal paste, I think it's all about making good contact in all the right places. I use the same technique when icing cakes, and now you can all shout at me in the comments. Right, let's check out this bad boy. Okay, so this is the GPU. Just get that ready in place. Let me tell you about why I chose this GPU. Yes, the 4090 is amazing at games, brilliant at video editing and so much more. But my huge interest in this was driven by the immense number of CUDA cores. Sitting at 16,384, this will absolutely demolish any AI models I want to throw at it. Right, I think I've got everything now. I just need to install the PSU, but I'm really glad that I did this test because the GPU and all-in-one cooler are absolutely huge, and I will be able to get some really precise measurements from this now. You know, once I've carved all of the beautiful walnut, I don't want to be doing that again, and I need to get this right first time. Then for the PSU, I've gone with the Thermaltake Tough Power GF3 1200 watts. I just want a reliable, stable supply that can supply the loads required. Ah, nice. This is where having tiny hands helps. I would not like to have massive workman hands for this. Beautiful. Right, okay, it's time to switch it on. So let's go for it. You ready? Nothing happened. Is it definitely on? Is the plug definitely in? Okay, right, I've forgotten to turn the power supply on. Where's the on button? Okay. Ooh! Yes! Oh, that is amazing. I did not expect that. It's beautiful. I'm so happy with this. It's beautiful. I can't believe it worked first time. That never happens. And if any of you comment on the fact that I forgot to turn the switch on, then that doesn't count. And I will come over to your house and give you a bonk list. And only the Welsh people will understand what that means. And it's not a good thing, just to be clear. Right, I'm going to install all of the software now. I've got my keyboard and mouse attached, and yes, my mouse is attached to a 10 gig connection because I do click that fast. But yes, I will get that ready for you and come back later. Okay, scrap that idea. I've just installed Windows and realised I've got absolutely terabytes of files to download before I can test my new beast. It's not just the benchmarking software. I want to also do some real life tests. So I need Premiere, Photoshop, Lightroom Classic, Blender, Baldur's Gate 3 and loads of others. So it's going to be an all-nighter for this PC to download and update everything. So I'll cover the benchmarks in my next video, where I'll be testing like mad everything that I can throw at this PC. So I'll see you then.